I am Clint. This is Jeff. We got a chance to go see Suicide Squad. Jeff got a chance to go see it earlier. I actually saw it last night in a real-life theater with real-life people.
Ooh.
Which is great, because normally, I don't get to go see many real movies anymore.
What was the vibe like in the lobby afterwards? Were people seemingly happy, or?
Well, let me tell you about the vibe going into the theater first. There were actually a couple of Harley Quinns like cosplaying there.
Nice.
People were like excited. There was an energy in there.
I should go pick up girls this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good chance. If Harley Quinn is your thing, maybe go see a movie this weekend. Literally, it doesn't matter what movie you're waiting on; they'll be in the lobby of the theater. So it was interesting. I wanted to make sure to go see this like out in the world because media screenings can be kind of stuffy and stuff. But it was real. It was real flat. Nobody reacted to the movie like at all, which was kind of disappointing. But general thoughts. What did you think of the movie?
I hated it.
Oh no!
I had really high expectations and was very let down. I thought it was the biggest disappointment of the summer. The cast is a strength. I think that this movie was well cast, and I like a lot of the characters. The problem for me is the script and the plot. You know what you're having these characters do, who they're trying to save, and what they're trying to stop. The villain in this, Cara Delevingne plays Enchantress. It's ridiculous. So she's creating a machine.
Right. She's creating a portal into the sky, a la...
Is it a portal, though, or is it a machine meant to destroy mankind?
I don't know.
Exactly.
And before we get too far down the rabbit hole of what's wrong with this movie, because there's plenty. That's a deep rabbit hole. I really think that there's a good movie in there somewhere. I think this is one of the most obviously overbaked movies that I've ever seen. You could just kind of smell the meddling that happened.
You can
with this
see
movie.
the editing battles. Obviously David Ayer had one cut and the studio had another, and there was a lot of discussion about tone and whether to go a little bit lighter and more fun, and then darker, which is where I think what the story calls for.
Yeah.
It's just naturally dark.
As much as I was sort of willing to concede that there's like some good stuff in this movie, there's some good moments peppered throughout this movie, and I think you could just probably rearrange what's on screen and make an interesting story. The thing that I found most egregious and downright offensive was the soundtrack. I felt like the movie was talking down to me via the soundtrack.
It was wall-to-wall music in the first half of this film. I mean, I think we hear 4 or 5 songs within the first 7 minutes.
And they're 4 or 5 of the most stereotypical choices.
Right.
For like, we're swooping down into the prison, we play House of the Rising Sun. Like they're all getting together, joining up as a team, we play Seven Nation Army.
You Don't Own Me.
You Don't Own
Harley.
Me was for Harley Quinn.
The soundtrack cues are almost supposed to double as character development in this movie.
Back to the movie itself for a second. I think one of the most interesting parts of the movie, though, is going to be Jared Leto's Joker. I enjoyed his performance. I actually thought he was pretty good.
I thought he was fine, but he doesn't get a chance to really do much with the character because he's in it so little. It's not a bad take on the Joker, but show us more of it.
Yeah, he was in it like exactly the wrong amount. He should have been in it more and been a part of the narrative.
Yeah, integrated a little bit better.
Integrated into the story like you're talking about. Or he should have been in it way less. And I think that would have been really effective too, which would have been cool. But the performance on the whole, like, I don't mind it. If he shows back up in Justice League, great.
For me, it's, again, like you said, what is up on the screen, and there's just so much CGI. It's nonsense. It's pixels, like the foot soldiers, if you will, that the squad is taking out constantly. I called them ashy rock zombies.
Yes.
They're just these faceless villains that are meant to give our heroes the chance to kick some ass or whatever.
Right.
But
it's just
there's just no stakes.
You get the random sort of like, let's cut back to a conference room at the Pentagon and everybody's going like, well, I can't believe this is happening.
Right.
And that's it. You get a little bit of sense of the scope.
Just no one around, other than like the subway sort of stuff.
It's a very
the city's empty.
Movie. Yeah, it's very strange.
I liked Will Smith a lot.
Will Smith
I will
was
give
great.
him that. Yep.
He's very good. I wish it would have just been Will Smith's movie. Or I wish it would have just been Harley Quinn's movie. If it was just Margot Robbie's movie.
Right, it's kind of balancing the time between them. And
I don't know why it had to be everybody's movie. And that's part of what I think about, like when you think about maybe rearranging what's on screen and coming up with a good movie, is you pare back a lot of the stuff. Like, you don't need origin stories for literally everybody because the characters are actually pretty rich. Jai Courtney, everybody's favorite Aussie, is that he's kind of fun, right? I mean, he's fun in a way that doesn't need an origin story, but we get one anyway that, you know, just detracts from everything else. There's one thing though, the one silver lining I think about this, and this sort of speaks to in the broader sense of what DC is doing, what Warner Brothers and DC are doing. The biggest interesting part about this movie is how they dealt with Batman. The reason I think Batman is really good in this is he comes into his own as a part of the DC universe that isn't reactionary. I think so much of DC's stuff is chasing what Marvel's doing, chasing what Deadpool's doing, chasing, you know, and they feel like they're behind the curve a little bit. Whereas with Ben Affleck as Batman, Bruce Wayne, I think that's a thing that they're doing right. As problematic as Batman vs. Superman was, as problematic as the bulk of this movie was, the scenes with Batman in this movie, I thought were done really well. Particularly the scene at the end. I like what it did within the context of the DC universe, and I'm excited about how it leads into Justice League. I am. Agree. You're looking at me like I'm kind of an idiot.
Not an idiot, just as crazy as the Joker. I agree to disagree on this one. Sure, I think DC is taking it is course correcting.
Yeah.
It knew that this movie probably could have been problematic, which is why they invited journalists onto the set of Justice League. So, you know, hopefully those next two movies in the DC universe will be better.
Hopefully. I think there's hope. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying, dude.
No, there is.
Great.
There is.
We'll
hope.
do this.
There's
we'll
hope.
do this later. Hey guys, so this review that you're watching right now on YouTube, we actually recorded live for Facebook Live earlier in the day. So make sure to go over to our Facebook page, that's facebook.com/CineFix Network, to make sure you're all up to date. If you want to see the full unedited version of this review, we did it live for you. You can check it out. Make sure you like and subscribe. It's not subscribing to Facebook. Make sure you just like our Facebook page to to stay up to date with all our stuff. You want to see it early and unedited. That's what we're doing these days. So get on board.
We're doing it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.